Hey guys, it's Steve from the Tech Buzz Gaming. I'm back from the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo, and let me just tell you, I had an awesome time there. A lot of pickups, a lot of booths, a lot of games were to be bought and had, and obviously this is What's Up NES, so we got to show you the pickups. Now, I'm getting to the point where I'm getting filler, but now I'm starting to pick up that medium range game that's, you know, in the $100 to $200 range, and the stack's getting smaller as I go to do this. But I wanted to kind of show you the first pickup that I have is Freedom Force. Now, this isn't a grail of any sort, but it is definitely a game that you need that I don't often see. Another one is Desert Commander. This is another game. It was clean. It's not something that you see every day, but it was one that I picked up. Another $50 to $60 game that I picked up is James Bond Jr. This is a great game. I didn't pay 60 bucks for it, but I got a good deal on it. But it was definitely one I needed in the collection. Another one that I didn't have, it's got a clean label, Stinger. Another one actually that Mike Worley picked up, and then he realized that he had it, and I was like, well, I don't have it, so I bought it off of him so he could go and buy a game that maybe he needed or something else, and that is Journey to Silas. This is a game that I needed in the collection. Another game, not so clean, if you will, but it's something I can work on, and that is Kicks. It's got a few labels here and here, and then on the back, it's got a little bit, so I can get that off with a little bit of goo gone, and then it'll be back and good shape. Another game that I bought that is a medium hitter, if you will, RC Pro-Am 2. This goes for about $120. Picked it up at a really good price. Another one, Gradius. Gradius is a game, you gotta have it in your collection. Again, it's not a huge name game as far as price, but it's a game I needed in the collection. Now, there are two games that were pretty heavy hitters. I'm going to save them for last. I also picked up, you know, a $40, $50 game in DuckTales. I love this game. I played it as a kid. We had a lot of fun with this game. Had to own it. Had to pick it up. Very clean label. Wildcard Mike had this game. I had to pick it up. Great game all the way around. Well, you know, that brings me to two games, the last two games in the What's Up NES series of this video this week. And there was a gentleman walking around that was selling some video games, and he had some that were left. He wanted $150 for the box, and they had some pretty good heavy hitters in it. The box itself, after John Riggs and Steve Wright went through it and got what they wanted, he wanted $150 cash for the rest of the box. Inside the box, the value of the games was almost just about $500 or a little over $500. Now, could I have added it to my game collection for my 3DS or my PS4? Absolutely. But I'm not really focused on that right now. I'm picking them up as I go in, you know, pawn shops and things like that. I'm really focused on the NES collection. So I started talking to Steve, I started talking to John, and to get some of these heavy hitters, they're like, trade up. And I was like, oh, why didn't I think of that? So I took the box as well as some, I had like 30 games. I took them in with my games, and for $100 out of my pocket, plus the trade, I was able to get $600 in value of two games that I really need for my collection. And the first one...
Good night and party on!
Party on, Wayne!
Party on, Garth.
It's Wayne's World! Wayne's World! Party time! Excellent!
Wayne's World. This is almost a $300 game. Now, the only thing with Wayne's World here is I do have to take some Elmer's glue. They suggested sticking it on there and folding the top label down. They said not to use super glue because super glue will bleed through. But they said most game resellers, they put those labels back down with Elmer's glue stick. So that's one thing I have to do with this. Other than that, great game, very expensive. Well, I shouldn't say it's a great game. It's a great pickup for the collection. It's an expensive, like mid-range game. Like I said, $250 to $300, and I now have it in the collection. But from what Mike Worley said, it's a terrible game. I haven't played it yet because I just got back, but I have it. And last but not least, you have DuckTales 1. Why not get DuckTales 2? This is the other one that I got in the trade. This one's clean. This is like the cleanest I've seen DuckTales 2. And I am like determined to get this full set. I'm going to have to get a total count for the video. You're going to see it down below here of how many I actually have and how many more I have to go. But I'm starting to get to the point where the shovelware is, well, running out. I need to get some heavy hitters and mid-range games. So the consensus of talking to people said the first half of the set was garbage. You can pick that up very cheap. The second half of the set, and even the late runners like Bonks and DuckTales 2 and all that, nobody bought them, so they're rare and they're hard to find. So that's why I'm trying to pick these up as I go. So there's a few other options that I could get. So I'm going to start thinking about this whole trading up thing and seeing if I can get what I need for my collection to complete the North American collection of the NES titles. I'm already at more games than I ever had as a kid. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did I do good? Did I do bad? I thought it was a fair deal. Mr. Rightway thought it was a fair deal. So I'm excited because I got 2 games that I needed that are heavy hitters in the collection. Guys, I really appreciate it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and until next time, keep it buzzing.